Hello, my lovely Aries. Welcome back to the channel today. As you can see, our setup is a little bit different here. We're doing things a little different only because I wanted to be able to see all your faces. Not that I can actually see you guys. That'd be a little weird, right? But I wanted to be able to, change the view a little bit, have it be a little bit more fun. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Aries, this is going to be your weekly reading for March 25th through April 7th. So we are moving into the first week of April here, as well as the last week of March. And Aries, just so that you are aware, there is a full moon happening in the sign of Libra, which is the sign opposite of you, Aries. So this full moon is going to be happening opposite your Aries placement, whether it's your sun, moon, rising, or Venus, whatever you are watching this video for, it's going to be happening opposite your sign of Aries. So this opposing full moon energy is going to be illuminating some stuff within you that you may not necessarily find that you are very proud of. Since this is something that is opposite of you, Aries, it means that there's going to be possibly some opposing energy being brought to light. But it's being brought to light because it's something that's meant to be handled within you. It's meant to be something that is resolved, bringing up something within you that needs resolved so that you can level up, so to speak. So Aries, with that being said, your very first card for Monday, the 25th on the full moon, is the Six of Cups in reverse here. Now, the Six of Cups in reverse here, Aries, this card is one that can sometimes be about unresolved childhood trauma. This card specifically has ties to your past, ties to childhood, idealizing things, seeing things through rose-colored glasses or with the innocence. So with the full moon happening in the sign of Libra here, Aries, this full moon could be illuminating pieces of childhood trauma that, still need to be a little bit resolved. This could be even not necessarily trauma, but just past wounds related to your childhood. So some of you, Aries is a sign that has this childlike innocence about them. They're the baby of the zodiac. They're the very first sign that starts off the whole wheel here, the first sign of spring that we see. And so Aries kind of gets this, childlike feeling to it when we talk about Aries as a sign. And this innocence is something that can very easily be broken by the things of the world. I feel like some of you want to get back to your inner child. A lot of you are trying to strive to find out how to get back in touch with your innocence, get back in touch with your childhood, and the things that just make you feel full, things that make you feel happy. Innocence, the ability to just go and do something and have fun and not worry about the opinions of others. So Aries, I feel like a lot of you are trying to get back in touch with this childhood innocence. And, with that aspect of the rose-colored glasses, some of you may be kind of idealizing this feeling of trying to get back to childhood or trying to get back to your childhood innocence. And for others of you, it could be idealizing possibly your life, what your life would look like under different circumstances. So if you do have some unresolved childhood trauma happening within that you still need to process and deal with, some of you could be trying to idealize or maybe stuck on thinking about what your past would look like if this thing never happened to you. I want to say that kind of thinking isn't really productive for building a new future. And I know personally, I'm someone who has, gone through a lot, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect. Everybody still has things that they have to process and stuff that continues to come up that we always have to kind of deal with, right? But I think that for some of you, this is a sign that maybe things weren't as good as you think they are, and you're reminiscing on trying to get back to something that can no longer be there for you. We can't go back and relive our childhoods, but we can make moments in our current life, in our current situation, no matter what age we are. We can make new opportunities for ourselves to rewrite, reparent ourselves, and to, enter into a space where we can allow ourselves the safety to experience these things of childhood that maybe we feel like we missed out on. I feel like what I'm getting for some of you Aries is that some of you are looking for this thing. Some of you feel like there is a hidden knowledge that the rest of the world has that you don't. You feel like you are trying to find this hidden peace, and not just peace as in like a portion of something, but hidden peace as in like peace, contentment. A lot of you are stuck trying to figure out, how do these people live their life? How do people live their lives with positivity and happiness? And what is this magic key or magic formula that's going to make it so that I can live like that? Anyway, Aries, your next card here on March 26th is the Chariot in reverse. And this card tells me, Aries, that you feel as though things are not moving fast enough. You can feel as though things are kind of at a standstill at this point. Things are moving very slowly, whether that be you feeling as though you are moving very slowly and not meeting deadlines that you have set for yourself or goals that you have set for yourself, whether it be the things around you moving slowly, as in waiting for some sort of payment or some sort of thing to come in for you, a manifestation for some of you. You're waiting for this thing to happen. You're waiting for this stuff to go, and it's a lot of this energy of hurry up and wait. A lot of you are wondering where the change is, wondering where the movement or momentum is going to happen. I think a lot of us are in this stage right now where we feel like there's so much that we have to do. There's so much that we have to figure out, and we're always thinking about our next step, always thinking about the next piece of the puzzle that we're going to have to figure out. And I think this energy of go, 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 go is keeping you feeling like you haven't made as much progress as you want to, Aries, as much as progress as you have wanted to. A lot of you feel as though things are moving very slow and that you're just not getting to where you want to be when you want to be there. But Aries, your next card after the Chariot on Wednesday, the 27th here, Aries, you have the World card. So things are happening. And even if you feel as though you are at a standstill right now, Aries, the World card here is to show you that things are moving and you have completed some large cycle here recently. The World card is the very last card of the major arcana, and it signifies reconnection with Source, reconnection with the world, the entire universe, the universal consciousness. And it's meant to say that, it encompasses everything and all things. And since it is the last card of the major arcana, it signifies that you have completed something. You have completed some sort of big cycle in your life. And this card is often actually seen to me as like a portal card, because you step into this place. You step into this ascension. And when this happens, you're transported into, a space beyond matter, a space beyond time, a space into light. And so, Aries, I think that some of you have just completed something really, really big. And a lot of you are kind of chomping at the bit to get started on the next thing that you have to do. But I think that, a lot of times what happens is that once we reach a completion, once we reach the end of something, we feel as though we are kind of in this lull space afterwards. Or even sometimes we find ourselves in a lull space right before we reach this ascension, right before we reach this completion. And it's because we're taking a break to reconfigure our energy. We're taking a break to build ourselves back up so that way we can step into this. This is the time where we get to look back on our accomplishments, look back on our achievements, see how far we've come in this whole process, and, congratulate ourselves for the amount of work that we've done. So, Aries, even though it feels like things aren't moving, even though you're ready to, some of you might be trying to move towards this ending and finding yourselves in this lull space right before it. So try not to get discouraged, with that showing up at all, with this card being here in your reading at all, Aries. It means that it is here for you regardless, whether or not you have it right in this very moment, or whether or not it's something that's going to happen very soon for you. Its energy is showing up here. So there is a completion happening. There is something coming to a completion, a total here. And your next card here for Thursday is the Justice card. And Justice is it's all about rebalancing energy, making sure that we are giving our attention to the places that need it. And Justice is the, movement of these pieces. So if we notice that we have been putting a lot of our energy into one area of our life, let's say, for example, you've been putting in a lot of energy towards completing this project. Maybe some of you want to complete a presentation of some sort for your job. Maybe others are trying to complete some sort of education within your schooling. And as we find ourselves getting, wrapped up in these projects, we can sometimes neglect other areas of our life. So this could look like you studying for your schooling and neglecting your health physically. So, not eating when you're studying, not taking care of yourself, not making time to have regular movement throughout the day so that you don't get sore from sitting in one area. So Justice is the rebalancing of energies. It's the rebalancing of yourself and your motivation, the time that you're putting into what you're doing. And so Aries, Justice is showing up in here for you on Thursday. So there is a rebalancing happening. A lot of you are going to realize that you have been possibly burning yourself out, trying to, go in this one spot. And a lot of you are going to realize that you have been neglecting other areas. So Thursday could very well be the time that you go and change these and, rebalance that energy within yourself. On Friday here, Aries, you move on to the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And this card is kind of an interesting one to show up here right now. So I think a lot of you, what is motivating this change, or what is trying to motivate you towards this new thing that you want, towards this world situation that you're envisioning for yourself. A lot of what is motivating you towards that is independence, and not just financial independence, but spiritual independence. Aries, you want to be able to rely on yourself. With this card, the Nine of Pentacles showing up in reverse, it can almost sometimes come across as like not being able to trust other people to meet your needs. Hyper independence because of not being able to trust other people. It's like if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself kind of energy. But it's at your personal detriment. And so a lot of you, I think you're wanting to make this change because you want financial independence for yourself. A lot of you are wanting to make this change for emotional independence, being able to live on your own and live by yourself and to build something on your own, to be able to look back and say, I did that. I did that myself and I didn't need anybody else to help me. But I think that this hyper independence can be a little bit counterproductive sometimes. I think that, it's really hard to be able to trust people. And Aries, I feel like your trust could have possibly been broken by somebody else at one point already. And that is what is leading you to want to pursue this hyper independence. Not from a place of, it's kind of from a place of lack, honestly. Let's move on to Saturday. Oh my God, I can't talk. Let's move on to Saturday here, Aries. You have the King of Cups. So Aries, even though things are seeming a little bit chaotic for you, not chaotic, I feel like a lot of you are just really struggling with this idea that you have to get something done and that it has to be done by a certain time. Although I feel like with the King of Cups showing up here on Saturday, this is about emotional maturity. The King of Cups is someone who, they have emotions and they know that they have emotions, but they love themselves exactly for who they are. And the King of Cups is somebody who knows how to allow their emotions to flow without it overcoming them. You know, they're someone who sees their emotions and sees the movement, but they don't allow it to push them or bully them around in one direction or the other. So this is not a person who, when they get angry, they lash out. This is a person who remains calm, who allows themselves to feel what they are feeling and to act accordingly. And sometimes acting accordingly is telling a bitch off, right? Sometimes acting accordingly is removing yourself from a situation without getting combative. And so I think a lot of you are in this place where you have learned this emotional maturity. You find yourself in this place where you do feel like you are a person who has good control. I don't want to say control because the King of Cups is not someone who controls. Rather, they know how to work with their emotions. They understand that their emotions are signals that something needs to change or that something is, working or not working. They're messengers and they're not necessarily messengers of action. Yeah, I hope that's making sense. I get a little confused sometimes. I end up saying the same thing multiple different ways and it can sound similar but different. I don't want it to sound like this person is, full of their emotions. This is a person who honors them and works accordingly. All right, let's keep moving. On Sunday for week 1 here, Aries, you end with the Princess of Pentacles. This is a person who is getting started. This is a person who sees what they bring to the table. That pentacle here, Aries, is what you bring to the table. The power and magic that you have within yourself and the ability to get something done. It almost kind of looks like the World card here a bit, Aries. That World card kind of has this seed look to it. And the Princess of Pentacles is carrying that seed. It's carrying this piece in order to be able to bring it to fruition. And this person is someone who is taking this pentacle. The pentacle represents a seed, something that they can plant, that can build and grow and bring them success towards the future. So on Sunday, some of you could be kind of having this aha moment about what your next step is or what you need to be putting into next. And others of you are finding that little piece that you've been looking for, that piece that you have been searching for or thinking about, trying to bring in for yourself. That piece of understanding your power, understanding your influence over the things that you are able to do, the things that you want to do for yourself. And that brings us into week 2 here. Week 2, we start off on Monday. This is actually April 1st. This is the first day of April, April Fool's Day here. Haha. Aries, you start off with the Princess of Cups. Now, the Princess of Cups signals that at this time you are in tune with your intuition. So you had your Princess of Pentacles on Sunday, followed by the Princess of Cups. So not only do you have the physical means, because pentacles are physical items, physical things in our material world, the Princess of Cups is our emotional world. So in the physical realm of items and things available to you, money-wise or energy-wise, the Princess of Cups is things available to you emotionally and intuitively. This is your inner world. So your inner world and your outer influence are aligned and in sync between these 2 days. The Princess of Cups, as we said, is someone who is intuitive. This is someone who is in tune with their feelings, who understands what they want. And it's very similar to the King of Cups in that they allow their emotions to flow. The Princess of Cups kind of has a little bit more work to do on this end of maturing, a little bit more, but simply because this is a princess and not the king, right? The princess also represents the page, and the pages are movement or messages sometimes. So some of you could have some sort of message that brings you happiness coming in for you. But I feel like that's a very small percentage of you. So don't go into Monday thinking you're going to get some sort of message. Moving on to Tuesday here, on the 2nd of April here, Aries, you have the Death card. And the Death card signifies an ending. This is not necessarily an ending of negativity. This is not necessarily an ending of, death occurring within the physical realm. This is death of old ideas, death of things that are no longer serving us. And sometimes within death, just like in real life, death doesn't always happen with this pretty wrapped up bow. We don't always have all of our ducks in a row when things happen. There's often a lot of unresolved pieces that have to be taken care of. But regardless of what we still have left to do, death does not care, right? Death doesn't care that you have things that you wish you could have said or things you wish you could have done. It happens to everybody, and we have to learn acceptance and moving forward from it. So Aries, I feel like this death for some of you could be death of ideas for yourself, death of the ideas of who you should be or how you should do things. I feel like a lot of you, this is the death of expectations for yourself. A lot of you could have very high expectations about how you should be doing, where you should be in your life at your certain age right now. I feel like a lot of you are allowing or at least becoming aware of the death that needs to happen for yourself to be able to move forward. So Aries, we have that death, we have that ending of things. Let's talk about your card on Wednesday here, which is the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands signals a failed victory of some sort or a loss. So something may have come to an end for you, Aries, that leaves you with some unresolved pieces. Something where you feel as though you could have achieved more or you could have gotten farther with this. Some of you could have been striving really hard to build something, and all of a sudden maybe you run out of project material or you run out of financing for being able to complete this project, and you have to scrap some of the work that you've been doing. Whatever the case may be, the Six of Wands is a sense of failed victory. So you were striving for something, you wanted to achieve something for yourself, and something blocked you from being able to do so. I feel like the death that we talked about the previous day is related to this Six of Wands in reverse. So the death, this ending that you were brought to, can leave you feeling as though things are at a loss and things are unfulfilled at this time. Let's move on to Thursday. You move on from the Six of Wands in reverse on Wednesday to the Four of Wands on Thursday. So even though you feel as though things didn't work out the way that you wanted them to, even though you feel this failed victory, the Four of Wands is about home. It's about stability, understanding the things that we bring to the table, where we stand within our family, with our own communities. And I feel like a lot of you, you're going to find a lot of support around this ending from your family. So if you do have family or, found family, not necessarily blood family, because family transcends blood relations. There's family that you can find within friends and coworkers in your supportive community, right? So I feel like a lot of you on Thursday, you're going to have to connect with your community, with your supportive family. And a lot of this could also be, just finding time to be within your house, finding time to be within your home, to make your home a home. So some of you might want to go and clean and reorganize and do things within the home on Thursday. But I feel like a lot of this is you finding comfort, you finding energy within your home. So finding time to be with your family and friends will help you process this loss, will help you feel as though you have, optimism moving forward from this. On Friday here, Aries, you have the Six of Swords in reverse. And the Six of Swords in reverse is death doesn't always end the way that we expect it to. And so with the Six of Swords in reverse, it's saying, Aries, there's something here that you're going to have to let go. There's something here that is asking you to leave it behind. And the longer that you cling on to it, the harder it's going to be to let it go. And, it can be very hard. If this is something that you have been putting in a lot of time for, a lot of work and energy towards, it can feel very difficult to let something go because you have invested a lot into this thing. You have put in a lot of time and energy into building this thing. So I can see why it would be very difficult to let go. But I feel as though whatever this thing is that you're being asked to let go of, it is taking up more resources that could be going towards a new future or a new idea for yourself. And in fact, I feel like a lot of this weekend for you, Aries, is a lot of this feeling of failure or a lack of confidence, a lack of idea or movement, a lack of clarity. Your very next card on Saturday is the Eight of Swords, which is about lacking movement, lacking clarity, lacking sight. I don't know how well you can see from this far away now, but this Eight of Swords here, this person has a blindfold over their eyes. And it's meant to signify that they are blind to the things around them, blind to not only their own influence and their own path and ideas, blind to the influence of other things around them as well. So there's stuff happening where you can't see it right now, Aries. There's stuff happening behind the scenes for you. And so even though it feels like this thing ended, even though it feels like you are lacking direction, I feel like there's so much going on that I feel like you have to take care of your stuff internally first to open the path, right? You have to figure out how to let something go so that you can open the path. Because once you let this thing go, it's going to open that piece that you need to let something new in, right? If you're holding on to the old, if your hands are so clasped tightly on this thing that you're trying to hang on to, they can't open up to receive something new for yourself. So Aries, you have to let something go here. You have to be able to receive by letting go first. And you end your reading, Aries, here with the Queen of Wands in reverse. So your confidence has been shaken at this time. Your confidence has been shot. You feel as though you're a failure. You feel as though things haven't gone the way that you wanted them to. Maybe you went into this with big expectations about how you would be able to handle this or how you would be able to solve this. And coming to a point where you feel as though you haven't met that goal, it can be really daunting for yourself. It can make you feel as though you are, smaller than what you should be, or that you need to think smaller because you failed the first time. And Aries, I want to encourage you to have confidence in yourself. Because even if something doesn't go right the first time, it's a learning experience. You learn wisdom from it, and you can take that wisdom with you into a new opportunity for yourself. You can take that wisdom moving forward so that you don't make the same mistake again, and you learn from this experience. And the next time you go to do something, Aries, you're going to be able to do it a lot better. If you only get 70% this time, maybe you'll get 75% the next time, and 80%, and then eventually 95% and 100%. So I would encourage you not to give up. I would encourage you to, hold on to your confidence, Aries. Hold on to your reason behind what it is that you want to do. Understand that you sometimes have to let go of things to move into new energy for yourself, but that it's okay because all in all, you're you're striving towards this goal for yourself, this world, this completion, this ascension. So that is where I'm going to leave you for today's reading, Aries. Thank you so much for being here today for your March and beginning of April reading to April 7th here, Aries. Thank you so much for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week.